There aren't many figures bigger than John Wayne. He's rough, he's tough, and he makes guns go pew-pew in a manly American fashion. Wayne is the type of cowboy that rural folks wish they were, and that our grandparents romanticized. The actor starred in over 90 films during his career, many of which were westerns, and there isn't a household in the country that hasn't seen a single one of his films. One of the most iconic leading men of his era. There was no one else in Hollywood like him, but there was a chilling darkness to this legendary figure. His infamous Playboy interview is just the tip of the iceberg, so buckle up and let's dive into the ugly side of John Wayne, the Duke himself. He wanted to be a professional football player. John Wayne, originally born as Marion Robert Morrison, had a rather interesting journey from his childhood to the early days of his career. Born in Winterset, Iowa, on May 26, 1907, to Clyde Leonard Morrison and Mary Alberta Brown, he began life as Marion. However, his transformation into the iconic figure we know today as John Wayne was influenced by a significant figure in his childhood, his loyal dog, Duke. As a young boy, Wayne shared an unbreakable bond with Duke, his faithful canine companion, and their inseparable friendship led to Wayne adopting the nickname Duke himself. Growing up, John Wayne displayed a towering personality and a natural aptitude for athleticism. He attended the University of Southern California on a football scholarship and pursued a major in pre-law. During his college years, Wayne was not only a student but also an active member of prestigious organizations such as the Trojan Knights and Sigma Chi fraternity. It seemed that a successful sports career was on the horizon for Wayne. However, fate had other plans for him. A body surfing accident resulted in a severe collarbone injury that shattered his dreams of becoming a football star. This unfortunate incident not only halted his promising athletic career, but also led to the loss of his football scholarship, forcing him to drop out of university. These challenging times coincided with the era of the Great Depression, and Wayne found himself in desperate need of financial stability. In a twist of fate, he landed a job as the prop guy for Fox Film Corporation. While his injury had dashed his football aspirations, it opened the door to a different world, the world of Hollywood. Despite the setback, Wayne eventually found his way to the big screen, where he portrayed football players in films like Brown of Harvard and Dropkick. This transformation from a promising football player to an enduring Hollywood legend is just one chapter in the remarkable life of John Wayne. He met a living legend. Losing the opportunity for a football career turned out to be a blessing in disguise for John Wayne when he found himself working on movie sets in Hollywood under the mentorship of legendary director John Ford. Wayne began his Hollywood journey as a prop boy, content with being part of the film industry after dropping out of university. Little did he know that a chance encounter on one of those sets would shape his career. While wandering the studio lot, Wayne crossed paths with none other than the famous lawman Wyatt Earp, who happened to be a close friend of fellow actor Tom Mix and frequently visited the sets. Wayne would later credit a significant portion of his persona to the influence of Earp. But the encounter with Earp wasn't the only twist of fate in Wayne's life during this time. As John Wayne's career started to gain traction, so did his love life. It was around 1926 when he went on a date with Carmen Sáenz, a young lady who, while not sparking romantic interest, had a younger sister who captured Wayne's heart, Josephine Sáenz, just 16 years old at the time. Wayne, known for his romantic nature, fell deeply for Josephine, but their relationship faced significant obstacles. John Wayne and Josephine Sáenz hailed from vastly different backgrounds. The Sáenz family was affluent, while Wayne was a humble country boy from modest means. The prospect of their daughter marrying someone from such a different social stratum horrified Josephine's family. However, Wayne was determined to prove himself worthy and that he could provide for their daughter. All he needed was his big break, and it was on the horizon. His struggle lasted over a decade. John Wayne's path to becoming one of Hollywood's most iconic actors was far from easy, marked by the challenges and opportunities that define the journey of many successful artists. His breakthrough in the film industry was largely thanks to the discovery and mentorship of renowned director John Ford. It was in 1928 when Wayne's early foray into acting began with a small role in the silent film Mother Machree, under the direction of John Ford. During the filming of this project, Wayne and Ford formed a close friendship that would prove pivotal in Wayne's career. Ford, recognizing Wayne's budding acting talent, introduced him to another influential figure in the industry, Raoul Walsh. Raoul Walsh gave Wayne his first significant opportunity in the film The Big Trail. While the movie achieved only moderate success, it did succeed in making Wayne a recognizable face in Hollywood. However, Wayne's journey to stardom was far from instantaneous. Throughout the 1930s, Wayne faced the challenges of trying to secure more substantial roles that would propel him to stardom. Unfortunately, the big break he sought remained elusive during this decade. Instead, Wayne found himself cast in low-budget Western films, far from the leading roles he aspired to. However, Wayne was determined to make the most of this period of waiting. He used these years to immerse himself in the study of the quintessential Western hero, honing his craft and developing his unique screen presence. It was during this time that he developed the distinctive walk that would become one of his trademarks, and he also mastered the art of performing his own stunts. Finally, at the end of the 1930s, John Ford offered Wayne the role of the Ringo Kid in Stagecoach. This film marked a turning point in Wayne's career, and all the hard work and dedication he had invested over the years began to pay off. Stagecoach not only catapulted him to stardom, but also established him as a beloved and enduring figure in American cinema. Red River established him as a major movie star. The early 1940s marked a period of significant popularity for John Wayne in Hollywood. However, it wasn't until 1948 that he starred in a film that would firmly establish him as a major movie star. Directed by Howard Hawks, Red River proved to be a massive hit both critically and commercially. The film's plot revolves around the characters of Tom Dunson, portrayed by John Wayne, and his adopted son Matt Garth, played by Montgomery Clift. Interestingly, some viewers have suggested that Red River contained strong homosexual undertones in its narrative. However, it's essential to consider the historical context of the 1940s, a time when such interpretations might not have been as openly discussed or recognized in mainstream cinema. If there were hidden messages in the film, they largely went unnoticed by the audience and critics of that era. Nonetheless, Red River emerged as a major success, receiving acclaim from both critics and moviegoers. The film even earned 2 Academy Awards, solidifying its status as a cinematic triumph. In recognition of its enduring impact, the American Film Institute ranked Red River as the 5th greatest Western film of all time in 2008. With Red River, John Wayne left an indelible mark on the Western genre and continued to impress audiences and industry peers alike. Notably, his old friend and collaborator John Ford must have been among those who recognized Wayne's talent and the film's significance in his career. The quiet man changed his image. Following John Wayne's impressive portrayal of Tom Dunson in Red River, director John Ford recognized his talent and offered him a role in the 1952 film The Quiet Man. This romantic comedy represented a departure from their previous collaborations and showcased Wayne in a different light. In the film, Wayne played Sean Thornton, a former boxer who returns to Ireland to purchase his family's farm. Unlike the rugged landscapes and gunfights often associated with Wayne's roles, The Quiet Man transported him to the lush and picturesque scenery of Ireland, offering audiences a delightful surprise. In the story, Sean Thornton falls in love with the charming Mary-Kate Danaher, portrayed by Maureen O'Hara, adding a romantic element to Wayne's repertoire. The Quiet Man proved to be a commercial success, grossing $3.8 million at the box office. Furthermore, it earned director John Ford an Academy Award for Best Director. While John Wayne did not secure an Oscar for his performance in the film, The Quiet Man played a pivotal role in reshaping his on-screen image. After his experience in The Quiet Man, Wayne had the opportunity to explore a broader range of acting roles. Despite being a beloved movie star, John Wayne was not without his flaws. He faced criticism for his far-right political beliefs and was even accused of racism. We'll delve into the complexities of John Wayne's personal beliefs shortly. Wayne delivered perfect entertainment in Rio Bravo. In 1959, John Wayne took on the lead role in the Western film Rio Bravo. This cinematic masterpiece not only achieved significant commercial success, but also earned a spot on the National Film Register due to its cultural, historical, and aesthetic significance. In the film, Wayne portrayed the character of John T. Chance, the sheriff of the Texan town Rio Bravo. His character's mission is to arrest a murderer and fend off the town's villain to ensure justice prevails. Rio Bravo is a delightful and entertaining film that captivates viewers in a simple yet engaging way. While it may not be the type of movie that leaves you gushing long after the end credits roll, it undoubtedly provides an enjoyable cinematic experience throughout. Beyond its borders, Rio Bravo received mixed reviews from critics. Some praised the movie overall, while others gave it more modest ratings, such as 2 out of 5 stars. However, even those who had their reservations acknowledged that the film offered enough entertainment to make it worth watching. The heart of Rio Bravo lies in its engaging plot, which was adapted from a short story with the same title, credited to a certain B.H. McCampbell. The intriguing aspect of the production was the plot's focus on a band of misfits, which injected abundant humor into the narrative. Interestingly, it was later revealed in the biography Howard Hawks' The Silver Fox of Hollywood that B.H. McCampbell was none other than Howard Hawks' eldest daughter, Barbara. Her contribution played a significant role in shaping the film's success and enduring appeal. The Searchers features Wayne's best performance to date. Another remarkable collaboration in the Ford and Wayne partnership, which spanned over 2 decades and resulted in more than 25 films, culminated in the 1956 Technicolor Western masterpiece, The Searchers. Often hailed as the greatest Western film of all time, The Searchers possesses the rare distinction of being both a critical and commercial success during its era and maintaining its status as one of the greatest cinematic achievements even after 7 decades. In The Searchers, John Wayne delivers a performance that many consider to be the pinnacle of his acting career. He immerses himself in the character of Ethan Edwards, a war veteran who returns home after an 8-year absence, only to bear witness to the brutal murder of his brother's family. He embarks on a relentless mission to rescue his abducted niece, venturing into the treacherous and unforgiving terrain of the American frontier. Beyond the surface, the film delves into complex themes, including the deeply ingrained racist attitudes of white settlers toward native populations, as well as the harrowing subjects of abduction, captivity, and the threat of sexual violence faced by white women. Distributed by Warner Bros., The Searchers was a groundbreaking film of its time. It marked a significant milestone as one of the first productions to offer viewers a behind-the-scenes glimpse through a specially produced program. This innovative approach added an extra layer of intrigue to the film's release and contributed to its lasting impact on the industry. The Searchers has left an indelible mark on the world of cinema, inspiring numerous films in the decades that followed. Notably, the 2016 Canadian drama Searchers drew inspiration from the original classic, albeit without delving into the racism aspect present in the source material. True Grit won him an Oscar, finally. In the latter part of John Wayne's illustrious career, when many of his golden years as an actor had passed, his exceptional skill was finally recognized with one of the most coveted honors in the industry, an Oscar. It was the 1969 Western classic True Grit that brought home the prestigious Academy Award for John Wayne. In the film, Wayne portrayed the indomitable Texan U.S. Marshal Rooster Cogburn. True Grit took its name from the 1968 novel of the same title by Charles Portis, upon which the movie was based. In True Grit, John Wayne embodied the character of Rooster Cogburn, a tough-as-nails, one-eyed veteran who had dispatched more than 6 men over the course of 8 years. However, all of his actions were in the line of duty or in self-defense. Wayne's portrayal of this iconic character received critical acclaim, and it was a role he would later reprise in the 1975 sequel Rooster Cogburn. Notably, for his performance in True Grit, John Wayne not only clinched an Oscar but also received a Golden Globe. The significance of winning the Oscar, after a career filled with remarkable contributions to cinema, cast a long-awaited spotlight on his enduring talent. He fought dirty. Before John Wayne entered the scene, Western movie heroes were typically portrayed as pristine, morally upright figures. However, Wayne's personal association with Wyatt Earp had given him insights into the less virtuous side of cowboys, which he reflected in his performances. He brought an edginess to his roles, often depicting characters who were willing to fight dirty, throwing chairs and taking on adversaries when they were vulnerable. And he always emerged victorious. His marriage was falling apart. In addition to his career, his personal life was also undergoing turmoil, with his romantic relationship taking a challenging turn that demanded his attention. In 1933, John Wayne married Josephine Saenz, embarking on a journey into matrimony. However, by the 1940s, Wayne had transformed into a bona fide movie star, with his career taking center stage and leaving little room for marital obligations. As his stardom continued to rise, his marriage with Josephine began to deteriorate. Wayne's absence from home became increasingly pronounced as he spent long hours on Hollywood sets immersed in his work. Yet it wasn't just Wayne's absence that strained his marriage. In 1940, while working on the film 7 Sinners, he embarked on an intense and ill-fated affair, one that would leave an indelible mark on his personal life. This affair was with none other than Marlene Dietrich, his co-star in the film. Marlene Dietrich was a luminous and enchanting presence in Hollywood, and her allure was not lost on Wayne. Introduced by director Tay Garnett, Dietrich made her feelings clear as she appraised Wayne with unmistakable interest. She boldly declared, "Daddy, buy me that." Wayne not only secured the leading role in the film, but also found himself irresistibly drawn into a passionate and tumultuous relationship with Dietrich. The glamorous and adventurous lifestyle offered by Dietrich stood in stark contrast to Wayne's domestic life with Josephine and their 3 children. Wayne's infidelity led him to lead a double life, balancing the comforts of home with the allure of Hollywood's siren. Dietrich possessed the qualities that deeply appealed to Wayne: beauty, femininity, and a willingness to share in his interests, from football games to hunting trips. However, Wayne's secret liaison with Dietrich eventually caught up with him. Josephine discovered her husband's infidelity and, in a desperate attempt to salvage their marriage, sought help from Father McCoy, inviting him to provide counseling. Josephine pleaded with Wayne to change his ways and return to their family, but the damage was irreparable. Their marriage eventually crumbled, and in 1945, John Wayne and Josephine divorced. Despite their separation, Wayne's personal life would continue to be marked by turbulence, including a dramatic incident involving his next romantic interest, one that would nearly have fatal consequences. Stay tuned to learn more about the complex life of John Wayne. He found a new love. The moment John Wayne laid eyes on Esperanza Bauer, affectionately known as Chata, he was smitten. At the time, he was still married to his first wife, but meeting Chata marked the final straw in his troubled marriage. Chata's infatuation with Wayne extended to frequent calls to his home, which he shared with his wife and children. For Josephine, his first wife, this was the last straw. One day, Wayne returned home, possibly from an encounter with Chata herself, only to find his belongings scattered on the lawn. Josephine had taken decisive action and kicked him out of the house. Their divorce soon followed, but Wayne didn't seem to mind too much. He was deeply in love with Chata and eager to start a new chapter in his life. However, little did he know that his relationship with Chata would prove to be a tumultuous and unsettling journey. Wayne described his marriage to Chata as akin to shaking two volatile chemicals in a jar. While their love burned passionately, it had a tendency to boil over into jealousy, manipulation, and chaos. Chata's fiery and possessive nature soon became evident. She resented Wayne's visits to see his children from his previous marriage and lived in constant fear that he was unfaithful. Considering that Wayne had been unfaithful in the past, her concerns weren't entirely unfounded. However, her response to her suspicions took a disturbing turn. Wayne's desire for the Hollywood lifestyle, coupled with his intermittent dedication to being a husband and father, added further strain to their marriage. There were nights when he would abandon his familial responsibilities to revel in the Hollywood party scene. On such occasions, Chata was left at home, consumed by paranoia and resentment, imagining Wayne involved with his co-stars. One fateful night, a heavily inebriated John Wayne returned home in the early hours. As he opened the door, he was met with a chilling sight: a wide-awake Chata holding a gun, aimed directly at him. The events of that night remain shrouded in mystery, but fortunately, Chata did not carry out her threat to shoot him. John Wayne survived the night physically unharmed, but his marriage to Chata had reached a breaking point, marked by turmoil, distrust, and a near-fatal encounter. Their tumultuous relationship would continue to have far-reaching consequences, impacting Wayne's personal life for years to come. After 9 tumultuous years, John Wayne's second marriage reached its breaking point, and the couple decided to call it quits. The incident involving Chata pointing a gun at him had seemingly irreparably damaged their relationship. However, their divorce proceedings were far from a quick and quiet separation, as Wayne might have hoped for, akin to his first marriage. Chata was not one to exit the scene quietly, and their divorce would become one of the most scandalous episodes in John Wayne's life. Chata did not shy away from making their personal matters public, levying accusations against Wayne that included claims of infidelity, emotional cruelty, and alleged physical altercations, including clobbering. In response, Wayne defended himself, characterizing his wife as a drunken partygoer who would fall down and then accuse him of pushing her. The divorce proceedings became a public spectacle, with each party attempting to tarnish the other's reputation. However, Chata's efforts to besmirch John Wayne's image would have unintended consequences. During the highly publicized divorce proceedings, it was revealed that she had been engaged in an affair of her own, with none other than Playboy socialite Conrad Hilton, Jr. This revelation added further layers of complexity and scandal to their already messy divorce. Following the chaotic and highly publicized divorce from Chata, one might have expected John Wayne to enjoy some time as a bachelor and take a break from marriage. However, Wayne wasn't one to remain single for long, and he soon set his sights on his next romantic pursuit and prospective trophy wife, marking yet another chapter in his tumultuous love life. He found another love. Amidst the tumultuous divorce from Chata, John Wayne found solace in his work, which momentarily felt like a vacation from the personal turmoil he was experiencing. During this challenging period, he embarked on a trip to Peru to scout locations for an upcoming film project. While touring local film sets in Peru, he encountered a captivating woman in a striking low-cut costume, performing a sultry dance scene illuminated by firelight. The on-set introduction arranged by the director marked the beginning of a new chapter in Wayne's love life. Upon seeing the enchanting dancer, Wayne couldn't help but be captivated and openly expressed his admiration, stating, "That was quite a dance." The details of the rest of that evening remain shrouded in the mists of history, left to the imagination of curious minds. This chance encounter would ultimately lead to a pivotal moment in his romantic life. The alluring woman who had caught John Wayne's eye was Pilar Palette. Wayne was convinced that he had found his next life partner in her, despite still being legally married to Chata at the time. Thus, while he was still navigating the complexities of his divorce from Chata, Wayne began a passionate affair with the Peruvian dancer. He was unwavering in his belief that Pilar was the woman he wanted to spend his life with. Astonishingly, on the very day that his divorce from Chata was finalized, John Wayne and Pilar Paletti exchanged vows, taking the bold step of marriage. For Pilar Paletti, this may have seemed like a fairy tale come true. An international icon had entered her life and whisked her away to Hollywood. However, the reality of moving to a new country and adjusting to a completely different culture proved to be a far more challenging experience than she had imagined. The cultural shift, coupled with the stress of her new life, began taking a toll on her mental and emotional well-being. Sleepless nights became a common occurrence, prompting her to turn to sleeping pills in search of respite from her insomnia. Unbeknownst to her, this marked the beginning of a perilous journey. As Palette increasingly relied on sleeping pills to cope with her difficulties, Wayne, in his characteristic manner, kept her by his side while he pursued his demanding career. He continued to jet set from one filming location to another with his wife in tow. This constant movement and the strain of her addiction eventually led to a disturbing and tragic climax. While they were on location in Louisiana, Palette consumed an excessive quantity of pills, causing her to experience hallucinations. In a harrowing act, she resorted to self-harm. Despite witnessing his wife's distressing condition, Wayne's response was far from what one might expect from a compassionate spouse. He chose to prioritize his film commitments over her well-being, arranging for nurses to accompany Palette back to California while he continued filming without interruption. This heart-wrenching incident highlighted a troubling aspect of John Wayne's character. He might have been a romantic figure in the eyes of many, but he was far from a fairy tale prince. His political beliefs and racist comments got him into trouble. John Wayne, a towering figure in Hollywood, was known not only for his legendary cinematic career, but also for his outspoken political views, which often placed him in stark contrast to the prevailing sentiments in the entertainment industry. Wayne, a staunch supporter of far-right ideologies, navigated a challenging landscape in a Hollywood that was predominantly left-leaning. Frustrated with the ideological disparities within the Screen Actors Guild, where he frequently clashed with fellow board members, Wayne decided to take action. He co-founded the Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals, aiming to counter the leftward movement that was gaining momentum in Hollywood during that era. Wayne also played a role in the controversial blacklist of communists within the industry. However, it was Wayne's racially insensitive remarks that cast a long shadow over his legacy. He acknowledged the grievances within the black community, but then backtracked by expressing his belief in white supremacy until the day when he deemed that black individuals were educated and fit to assume positions of authority. In a Playboy interview that shed light on a darker facet of his personality, John Wayne, the iconic gun-slinging American hero, revealed a deeply troubling perspective that many were unaware of. The interview exposed Wayne's racist views, with him unabashedly stating, "I believe in white supremacy." But it didn't stop there. Wayne went on to make more unsettling remarks, such as, We can't all of a sudden get down on our knees and turn everything over to the leadership of the blacks. It's important to note that Wayne consistently used the term the blacks throughout the interview, a phrasing that is considered outdated and insensitive in today's society. Wayne's views extended to his stance on leadership roles, as he expressed the belief that black individuals should not occupy positions of authority. Shockingly, he even referred to slavery as a fact of life. It wasn't just black people who found themselves at odds with Wayne's views. It was essentially anyone who wasn't white. His interview also revealed his disdain for indigenous Americans, characterizing their efforts to retain their land from colonizers as selfish. Wayne went as far as expressing indifference about white people appropriating indigenous land, a sentiment that rings discordantly given that the very existence of indigenous cultures played a significant role in many of his films. These revelations about John Wayne's racial prejudices serve as a stark contrast to the heroic and patriotic characters he portrayed on the silver screen. They highlight the complexity of his legacy, forcing us to grapple with the uncomfortable truth that even our revered icons can possess deeply troubling beliefs. These remarks stirred considerable controversy at the time and resurfaced years later, sparking renewed outrage. Calls were made to rename Orange County's John Wayne Airport as a response to these comments. The Duke was a homophobe. The issue of homophobia is one that cannot be dismissed as merely a product of its time, as wrong is inherently wrong, regardless of the era in which it occurs. In the case of John Wayne, it's evident that he held fairly homophobic views, and this aspect of his character was also revealed in the same Playboy interview that exposed his racist remarks. During the interview, Wayne openly criticized certain films that he considered perverted, singling out Easy Rider and Midnight Cowboy. When pressed to explain why he labeled these films as perverted, Wayne pointed to the love depicted between two men in Easy Rider, using an offensive term that we won't reproduce here, but the sentiment is clear. He then went on to express his approval of sexual relationships as long as they were between a man and a woman. In his own words, John Wayne outlined his views and revealed a darker side to his personality, even for someone who had portrayed characters such as a rugged cowboy shooting at American Indians on screen. Despite the controversy surrounding his personal and political beliefs, there's no denying John Wayne's status as a cinematic legend. His numerous iconic performances, in which he embodied courage and heroism, cemented his position as a beloved star whose fame has endured long after his passing. Wayne continued to captivate audiences with box office successes even into his 70s. His remarkable skill as an actor left an indelible mark on the world of cinema. John Wayne passed away from stomach cancer in 1979 at the UCLA Medical Center, leaving behind a legacy unlike any other. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to support us. Also, hit the bell icon so we can update you about our latest videos. Until next time, bye.